We have come up on another horror movie. This time it's a zombie movie that was pretty much. It was pretty much
28 years.
28 years later.
Let's go.
It was pretty much. It was pretty much a fan favorite back in the day, like 28 days later, and then 28 weeks later. So now we have this. There are a lot of, I can't say mixed thoughts about it, but there's just one thing that was talked about in this movie.
As it should.
As it should.
As it should. But whether you like it, love it, or hate it, as it should.
Yeah. So,
it is definitely Talkin Beast.
Yeah, definitely. So let's talk about this.
Let's go.
Let's go. So the story is pretty much okay.
It's a solid story. To me, it was two stories in one. Like I saw the anchor of the son, but I also saw like the father and son journey that could have been just its own story, and the mother and son journey that could have been just its own story. Yeah,
basically, to me, I think the story was solid. It brought a lot of emotional discord with the father and the son, and of course the son, who's trying to take care of his mother. He's trying to get that cure for his mate. Don't know what is wrong with the mother, and eventually they found out that she had cancer, and it's pretty heartbreaking throughout the story. Just the story itself, but the big bad sad thing about this movie is that there wasn't anything about the fucking zombie, which is or the infection thereof. There wasn't much of it.
They use this world to tell their story. They didn't have this world inform their story, especially the latter part. At least the beginning, you could make the argument that there was infected and that this was something that was major, because the beginning of the story was basically about father takes son out on like his first hunting,
trying to test his manhood. Basically.
You see what I'm saying? And so like, and they have to battle the elements. They have to battle the zombies. They have to battle getting, finding shelter after dark, things of that nature. So you can make that argument that they did.
Yeah.
It is the second part where it's like, okay, son was like, okay, I'm gonna take mom to a doctor to get her hopefully cured. And that took up the zombie element or the infected element took a backseat to that. To tell that part of the story.
I don't think that this movie is impactful to me because I'm so attached to the 28 days, 28 weeks later idea of, we're trying to control this pandemic, but it's getting out of control and now it's survival.
Well, I feel like that's more 28 weeks later than even 28 days, but you're right. Okay.
Yeah, so now it's basically, we're settled. We understand that the pandemic is what it is. So this is our story away from the pandemic itself. And to me, I think that kind of brought me off hand. It didn't satisfy me enough. You know what I mean? Just knowing that the fact that we already went through 28 days, 28 weeks. So what about trying to find a cure or something?
And see, I'm actually glad that they stayed away from that.
Yeah.
That was a very typical avenue to go.
Yeah.
And I'm actually glad that they were like, we're going to tell another story. And for that, I disagree with you. I disagree with you.
Yeah, but I believe that there should have been something that intertwines the zombies along with who lives in that town. You know what I mean? Either they're trying to find a cure or whatever the case is. Since it's years after.
That's so typical, though. I mean? That's so typical, though.
I know, but since there is a doctor out there, they brought him in without even giving him a proper backstory of where his.
This is the beginning of a trilogy, so we might find out.
Yeah,
it's the same thing of Aaron Taylor Johnson. Thank you. Like you would have thought he was gonna be. It was his movie, and he was only in the first part, and that was it. It was definitely Alfie Williams as Spike. That was his movie, and he carried that. But that's another story for another time. Let's go.
Also, another thing was the controversial alpha, the alpha zombie,
and the live birth.
But anyway,
and the live birth.
My thing about this story is,
but I guess not a zombie. You might have your cure in that one.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
That might be your miracle baby. So
yeah, well, you're right.
And we saw that in Army. I think Army of the Dead, the Zack Snyder one that's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like we saw a pregnant, and that they seemed to have something. Like it seemed like that alpha knew. And was really pissed off that this happened.
And that's the thing again, because and of course he said that this is going to be a 3-part thing, but we haven't gotten anything of this alpha. Where is he from? Why is he so like demanding? Why is everyone towards?
I think
I needed that to go on into a different like a part 2 of this. Please keep in mind though. Please keep in mind that the next sequel, I think it's going to call The Bone Temple. This is going to be the sequel of this movie. All right.
They're giving you things to answer in future installments. You have a point on that. But I'm okay with not having answers with some of these things.
I'm cool, but at least give us something. I mean, give me something to kind of say, okay, well, all right, part 2 is going to be about something, but at least I know what these characters are about, what their main focus is, where their backstory is from, so that at least I can know that, well, let's make part 2 a much more action packed, because there wasn't much action in this,
and that might come. I mean, it's the same. It's the same argument with Furiosa and what's the thing that came after it that actually came out for?
Yeah, Mad Max.
Thank you, Furiosa and Fury Road. If you look at Fury Road, that is action packed, but then if you look at Furiosa, that's foundation and makes even Fury Road even better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but so Fury Road is, but Furiosa is like a offhand of.
It's a prequel.
Yeah, it's a prequel.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And if you put those two together, to me, Furiosa makes Fury Road even better. You know what I mean? So I get what you're saying, but I disagree with you on that.
Yeah, but to me, I just think that the idea of finding a cure it just fell out. Or there is nothing. It's like everyone is for survival. Everyone is in a survival mode, and to me, it can go endless. Just being in a survival mode, it's like we're watching another Walking Dead, and all that shit.
I mean, fair.
You know what I mean? At least go for something
that's the zombie thing, though.
Yeah, but at least go for something that okay, well, let it be that something we have to go get something that can be the cure or something, but apparently
you got it in the baby. You got it in the baby.
Well, let's see what the baby issue is about.
Okay.
For me, well, the story itself was pretty much good. I can definitely give it a 7 out of 10 for that.
I'm gonna give it an 8.
Yeah, 7 out of 10. And just because it's mostly focused on the Spike and Jamie and the mother, and you know, and other than that, that's it. It wasn't much building after that. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna give it an 8.
So 7 out of 10 for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think he's a bit young.
He's ready, Jenny.
7, 6, 11, 5.
Once you walk onto that mainland.
Alfie Williams as Spike carried this entire film on his back. Carried.
Yep.
However, there was almost no L's on the acting.
Yeah.
There was from small to large, there was almost no L's on the acting.
No L's on the acting. It's just that Alfie Williams, he played a very good role. Yo, it's like
he was a young kid. Like he was like maybe 12, 13 maybe.
Yeah.
Or at least in the thing, because I could see him being like 15 and just being small.
Yo, but you are having these young kids playing these roles, because we have that movie that played recently, Bring Her Back, that little kid. He played wonderful. There's a lot of young kids that are really killing this acting thing, yo. You know what I mean? So yeah.
And so did the girl.
Huh?
So the girl. Yeah. But and listen, Jodie Comer and Aaron Taylor-Joy Taylor Johnson are no slouches either. Yeah. And he held his own. Yeah, definitely. And of course you had Lord Voldemort there. So and he can act like a lot. So he held his own and.
Yeah, definitely. So the acting for me, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 too.
9 out of 10 too, because he was dope.
Absolutely.
He was dope.
Let's go.
Man, we didn't get much action in this fucking movie, bro. And I was very mad about that. I was very mad about that.
But when it hit.
Yeah, when it hit. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
when it hit.
Yeah, when they do hit with the action, it went solid. You know what I mean?
I think I'm gonna bring back Furiosa in this conversation. It gives me those vibes again. Like to me, Furiosa was a good movie, but it was a very slow paced movie, and I feel like they're building something up to something that could be a lot more in the future. Now, should we judge that build up on this particular thing? That is a fair point if you say no. When the action happened and happened really well to me, I think it was well executed. It was very tense. You actually were scared and thinking that there's a possibility that these these people were not going to make it. And there were slow zombies that made it even like a little bit tense. And there was, of course, those fast zombies. And then there was the alpha zombie that was that big mandingo motherfucker.
Okay. So that's the action?
That is the action. Now, did it happen often? No.
Exactly. With this now, there is not much action with this one. It's just playing probably about 3 parts where action was involved, but there wasn't a big scene that was going on. You know what I mean? There wasn't.
Other than the house.
Yeah, other than the house.
You can make that was a big set piece.
Yeah.
For having 2 people, that was a big set piece.
I think the biggest set piece for me was the soldiers getting run down. That to me was the biggest one.
Yeah. I don't know if that was. I don't think that was bigger than the other one. I think that was they were comparable.
Yeah, whatever. So
you're saying everything else didn't matter?
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying that I wanted to see more of
those kind of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. But other than that, the action and geeking scenes of this movie, I will definitely give it a 7 out of 10. It's not fulfilling me as a zombie, a person who loves zombie movies. I wasn't seeing enough zombies like 28 days later, 28 weeks later. I wasn't seeing that. All right. So with this, I'll definitely give it a 7 out of 10. The action scene.
I'm gonna give it an 8. I wanted more. But it was quality when it hit.
Okay.
I was a little scared for them.
Okay. All right.
And I'm glad that everybody didn't make it out.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Some are better than others.
The most controversial part of this movie.
You had Targaryen.
Listen.
Ex Power Ranger. Ex weird kid at wrong turn with the haircut, with the bowl haircut. Ex tracksuit mafia.
Lord.
Like it was weird. It was so left field.
Yeah.
It was so left field.
I don't know, bro.
How do we not talk about that in reaction?
That broke my freaking heart because I don't know where the fuck that came from.
And I don't know where the fuck you're going with it either. Like it was weird. Like the last minute, just for those who haven't seen it and spoilers, right? For the last 5 minutes, you had the kid character, I guess, trying to find his own way. He comes up and he's about to get cornered by a whole bunch of zombies, and then this guy's like, "Yo, we can help you, son." Basically, with the gold chains and the gold rings and everything,
and
with the fucked up bowl cut. Okay, and then he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna bring my posse up and everything." And obviously, he didn't say it like that, but still, that's the vibe it was giving. And they was all in like track suits, and they was acting like Power Rangers, and they all had the bowl cut haircut from that kid from Wrong Turn, and yeah, it was weird. It was weird.
Yeah,
it was weird.
I think the controversial scene to me was zombie dude with the big dick. Apparently, when his image came on board, there was a lot of females like, "Whoa!" You know, like, come on, bro, come on. But
listen, y'all men have seen the boobs and everything, okay?
Yeah, you do. You do. And I'm not going.
I'm looking at you, Resident Evil 2.
I'm not going to lie though. The kill scenes, the kill scene effects, the prosthetic
effects.
Yeah, man. The effects and oh my god, it was pretty brutal. Yo.
It was. When it hit, when it hit.
Yeah, it definitely hit.
So what you give?
So I'm definitely going to give it a 10 out of 10.
I know it's right.
You know, yeah, definitely a 10 out of 10 for me. Perfect.
When it hit, yeah.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. Okay, so for basically this movie, 28 years later was pretty.
It's not the intense ride that I was hoping it was going to be.
Yeah, it was pretty.
But I'm gonna give it some grace because I think that it's gonna be building up to it, and it's gonna be a good companion piece.
Yeah. Well, you know, for you, I wasn't fully satisfied. To me, I wasn't fully satisfied.
That's fair.
The zombie, I was expecting some sort of zombie confrontation with Aaron and his son.
Yeah.
Even them trying to get the cure for the mother and something. You know what I mean? I was hoping for something like that. Yeah. And they had to basically encounter like different zombies and all that shit. I was hoping to something like that, but apparently it didn't happen.
And that's
and
fair.
It went down a whole different rabbit hole. So
that's fair.
Yeah. So for this, I'll definitely give it like I want to give it a 6, but I say, you know what? Let me just give it a 7. Just because of the story, it was a solid story. I wish that it went a different route. That end part of it killed it for me. I don't understand that end part. You know what I mean? So I don't get it. I don't understand it. But it is what it is.
I'm gonna give it a 7.5. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that I'm heavily. I agree with you, even though I think actually my scores have been better than the 7.5. So if you even average it out, but so I'll take that criticism. But I do agree with that. Like, I feel that it could have given you more of the horror aspect, and you lean too heavily on the story. I am gonna say, like, that's the reason why I'm not gonna give it like a 6 or 5 or whatever, because I think that could also be an arguable point. But because I'm gonna give it grace, because I think it's building towards something. Now, if it builds towards nothing, then I think in retrospect I'm gonna come back and dog it. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
that's my thoughts.
I think the whole building up development just wasn't hitting it for me. I'm sorry,
fair.
It lacked.
That's fair.
It lacked for me,
especially with the type of infected that you had that popularized the fast-moving zombie. Like, that's fair.
It lacked for me. It definitely lacked. I wasn't feeling it 100%. I guess it's because I was hoping for more. I was hoping for a different type of plot, but apparently it didn't go that route.
Okay.
It is what it is.
All
right. So guys, if you have watched 28 Years Later, let us know what you think. This is what we think.
Yeah, well, let us know what
You know,
you
it's
think.
our opinion. All right.
Alright? And listen, if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification so you can know when we hit the next video. Please watch us out. Watch out for us on TikTok and IG.
Yes,
Alright? Geek by Heart.
Yes, sir.
I'm Lane A.
And I'm Jay.
And we will see you in the next video.
Peace to the gods.
Peace to the gods.